From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now, the latest news.
Kylie Conway has the latest news. The top headlines. News you can use.
Please stand by.
Sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Tuesday, June 22nd. We're going to finally break out of this active weather pattern we've had. It's going to be a gorgeous spring-like day for your Tuesday. Low humidity is going to be wonderful, bright skies, and a really comfortable afternoon. So if you have outdoor plans, keep them. If you don't, you might want to make them. Our highs are going to top out in the low to mid 70s.
Videos like this and the whole coming out process are just not necessary.
Making history, Carl Nassib is the first active player in the NFL to announce he is gay. The Las Vegas Raiders defensive lineman shared the news on Instagram through a video, and this morning there's a lot of support pouring in. His team tweeted, "Proud of you, Carl," and the Los Angeles Chargers took to Twitter saying, "Some things are bigger than a rivalry." Nassib said he's been meaning to do this for a while and finally felt comfortable getting it off his chest. This comes after players and teams from around sports began to chime in with their support. His team, the Raiders, were the first to take to Twitter to express their love and support for the defensive end. With his announcement, Nassib is donating $100,000 to the Trevor Project, a suicide prevention organization for the LGBTQ community.
I really have the best life. I got the best family, friends, and job a guy could ask for. I'm a pretty private person, so I hope you guys know that I'm really not doing this for attention. I just think that representation and visibility are so important.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell released a statement saying the NFL family is proud of Carl for courageously sharing his truth today. Representation matters. We share Carl's hope that someday soon statements like this will no longer be newsworthy as we march toward full equality for the LGBTQ community. The Colts plan to host the Las Vegas Raiders at Lucas Oil Stadium in January. And today, new COVID-19 information from Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett and County Health Director Dr. Virginia Kane. They are holding a press conference to provide an update on the city's response to COVID-19. It's happening very soon here at 10 o'clock this morning. The health department is pushing more people to get vaccinated before July 4th with the goal of ending restrictions. Now, you can watch this 10 o'clock press conference on wishtv.com through the Wish TV app. If you have that downloaded on your phone, if you don't, you should do it. It's full of great resources. And you can also stream it on the Wish TV Facebook page. And the city is stated that its goal is for 50% of people in Marion County to be vaccinated before Independence Day. The department's adding mobile clinics and offering incentives to get there. People who get the shot by July 2nd can even win some prizes. Now, Dr. Kane says that she's not sure the county will reach the goal, but they are trying very hard. The state's current count shows Marion County's vaccination rate is just more than 47%. As far as across the country, more than 177 million Americans have gotten at least one dose of the vaccine. The CDC says that just under 12 million of those are fully vaccinated with Johnson & Johnson's single-dose version. More than 138 million people are fully vaccinated with 2 doses. So that brings this morning's total to more than 150 million people who are fully protected. That milestone comes as a new CDC report shows vaccination rates and interest in getting the shot are the lowest among people between 18 and 39 years old. It found 34% of adults in that age group have gotten a vaccine. The people with the lowest vaccination rates are between 18 and 24. Those who are less educated, do not have insurance, and are lower income. 8 students are filing a federal lawsuit against Indiana University over the school's vaccine policy. We've been reporting the school is requiring everyone to be fully vaccinated before returning to campus in the fall. The attorney for the group says the school is violating the students' constitutional rights and the state's vaccine passport law with the rule.
No other governmental agency, no other public university in Indiana, no county, the FDA doesn't require mandate vaccination, CDC doesn't mandate vaccination. And so, you just have to wonder, how could this possibly be justified?
The school responded to the suit, saying the university was confident it would win the lawsuit. IU has changed one of its requirements since it announced the mandate in May. The school says students no longer have to provide proof of vaccination. Instead, students fill out an online form to tell the school they've been vaccinated. Butler University is requiring proof of vaccination for its students, faculty, and staff for the fall semester. Butler wants them to send in a photo of their vaccination card by August 1st. The school announced the new policy Monday and says it will offer exemptions on a case-by-case basis. Today, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell will testify in front of the House Select Subcommittee on the coronavirus crisis. We do have details from written testimony. Powell prepared. He says the economy is growing at a healthy rate, which has caused inflation to go up in the last few months. The chairman points to price declines at the beginning of the pandemic, higher gas prices, increasing consumer spending, and supply issues as some of the reasons for increased inflation. Today's hearing comes after the Federal Reserve Policymaking Committee met last week. The hearing is scheduled for 2 o'clock this afternoon. And this morning, there are demands that the Department of Justice handles misbehaving airline travelers seriously. An airline trade group and unions for pilots and flight attendants are speaking out about passengers, one of which was recent on a Delta flight. It just happened earlier this month. We reported on that. There was an off-duty flight attendant who used the intercom and actually fought the crew. 10 organizations wrote a letter to the Attorney General. Part of it reads, the federal government should send a strong and consistent message through criminal enforcement that compliance with federal law and upholding aviation safety are of paramount importance. The FAA received more than 3,000 reports of bad behavior since announcing a zero-tolerance policy in January. More than 2,000 of those cases involve passengers refusing to wear masks. 2 people charged with killing former IU football player Chris Beatty have pleaded not guilty. Nakia Shields and Elijah Jones appeared in court for the first time yesterday. Prosecutors say the 2 were part of a group that robbed 7 people, including Beatty, the night of the riots in downtown Indianapolis last year. Both face felony murder charges, 5 counts of armed robbery, and 1 count of attempted robbery. People near Flagstaff, Arizona are bracing for evacuations as a wildfire burns to the southwest. The Raphael fire has burned 20,000 acres already. Fire officials say they're working on a plan to starve the fire of fuel. According to the Arizona Emergency Information Network, high winds and dry conditions are making putting the blaze out pretty difficult. The network added that the fire started as 4 small fires after a lightning storm last week. And this morning, families in northern Indiana are cleaning up after tornadoes tore their neighborhoods apart. The National Weather Service says 1 twister hit St. Joseph County, the other touched down in Steuben County. These were both early Monday morning. Winds in Steuben County were up to 100 miles per hour. In Illinois, homes in Naperville were flattened, ripped apart. The National Weather Service says 2 tornadoes hit the Chicago suburb. One had winds up to 165 miles per hour, the other 85 miles per hour. Survey teams say more than 100 homes are damaged and 22 are now unlivable. The U.S. Supreme Court will not hear a case designed to expand Indiana's absentee vote by mail. The court rejected the argument to allow no-excuse vote by mail for all Indiana voters. Current law only offers that to voters 65 and older. The suit was filed just before last year's presidential election. Attorney General Todd Rokita is praising the ruling this morning. He posted on Twitter that the decision confirms states have the authority to set their own election policies so long as they are constitutional. Teachers Treasures is getting hundreds of thousands of dollars to help children in the classroom. The AC Golf Classic raised $330,000. It's a new annual record for the event. There were a lot of recognizable sports faces who teed off yesterday for the cause. We caught up with IU's new basketball coach, Mike Woodson, and former Colts coach, Chuck Pagano.
It's just good to get out. I don't get a chance to play much right now because I'm out scouting. So I flew back from Washington, D.C. last night, got me a good night's sleep, so I'm here this morning. I'm all about causes, and, this is for teachers, and I'm going to support this tournament, as we move forward.
My daughter is a 5th grade elementary school teacher, so me and my wife, Tina, we know firsthand how important this initiative is, how important it is for these kids to have, the books and the right supplies and everything, and for young people to have a chance.
Since AC started the outing, it has raised more than $2 million. The money will go to help buy basic supplies for children whose families may not be able to afford them on their own. And there is another reason to have a morning cup of coffee. According to a new study from the journal BMC Public Health, all types of coffee reduce the risk of developing chronic liver diseases. The study included more than 494,000 people from the UK who drink coffee. The study found that compared to non-coffee drinkers, coffee drinkers were 21% less likely to develop chronic liver disease and 20% less likely to develop fatty liver disease. That includes decaffeinated, instant, and regular coffee. And a major win for student athletes. A unanimous decision from the Supreme Court means the NCAA cannot limit colleges on their compensation to students. That means schools can now competitively offer benefits to attract athletes. ITMate's Jasmine Miner was a college athlete herself. She spoke with professors, coaches, and athletes about the impact this ruling could have.
It's been a fight for the last 115 years.
Well, name, image, and likeness is a time that's long overdue for student athletes. It's another form of empowerment.
The NCAA says in a statement, while today's decision preserves a lower court ruling, it also reaffirms the NCAA's authority to adopt reasonable rules and repeatedly notes that the NCAA remains free to articulate what are and are not truly educational benefits. But there are still questions.
What this means, how do we leverage it, how do we amplify and enhance it, how do we regulate and monitor it within the spirit of college sports.
Or how much can athletes earn, and will bigger sports get more? I asked IU sports law professor Nathaniel Groh.
There's definitely the fairness argument from the men's basketball, football revenue side that why should we generate all this revenue and not receive a greater cut of it? But then on the flip side, if you went to full pay for play, the opportunities might not be there for women's tennis or gymnastics.
At the end of the day, we'll adapt, we'll figure it out, but just change is the one constant in college athletics these days, and we're in the middle of it.
While the ruling specifically addresses education-related benefits, it does not discuss name, image, and likeness. Groh says that's a separate argument long-term, but for now, college recruiting is being completely reshaped.
Can they hook up with a company in Spain and offer month-long internships over the summer in Barcelona? And is that going to attract a student athlete that another school might not be able to?
Indiana is currently one of the few Big Ten states that have not passed a name, image, likeness law. However, Indiana coaches say they're going to help their players become more marketable.
We're going to do the best job we possibly can as a university and as a football program to allow our players to maximize that opportunity with the NIL and what all that it means. And so for me, it's about helping our players grow their brand, but within the framework of our football team. And that's what LEO is all about.
That was Jasmine Miner reporting. Spark Fishers starts tonight. A week-long celebration is set for the festival, which didn't happen at all last year because of the pandemic. It goes through Saturday, 5 days of fun. There'll be concerts, a 5K race, and, of course, fireworks. So many great attractions. The free concert is tonight, kind of kicks everything off. And then there's fun stuff spread all week long. So really just go online, go to wishtv.com. You can find the itinerary and maybe pick which day if you want to go to all the days to stop by. And everything ends in the big parade and fireworks, which happens Saturday. And finally, to business headlines. Nationally, monthly rents are finally growing faster than their pre-COVID rates, driving rental prices to their highest point in 27 months. Prior to the pandemic, rents in the 50 largest metro areas were growing by 3.2% year over year. That growth slowed throughout the pandemic. However, as of May 2021, the median national rent reached $1,527. That's up 5.5% year over year. Rents have fully recovered in many of the nation's largest cities. That's according to Realtor.com. Netflix strikes a deal with filmmaker Steven Spielberg. The streaming giant announced an agreement to have multiple new films made by Spielberg's production company, Amblin Partners. The studio will make multiple films for Netflix over this agreement. ExxonMobil is preparing to reduce headcount at its U.S. offices between 5 and 10% annually for the next 3 to 5 years. This will be mostly white-collar workers. Bloomberg reports the cuts will target the lowest-rated employees relative to peers, and for that reason will not be characterized as layoffs. And the gap on your resume might not be the biggest obstacle that you think it is. Talking about if maybe you didn't have a job during the pandemic. So the stigma around career pauses, already beginning to ebb in recent years, has eased even further amid COVID, according to recruiters, job seekers, and human resources executives who spoke to the Wall Street Journal. A survey by job site Monster last fall found that 49% of 400 U.S. recruiters believed resume gaps had shifted from being a red flag to acceptable. This has been your News 8 Daily for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com And follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
The News 8 Daily 8 is sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast, The News 8 Daily 8 with Kylie Conway. And be sure to discover even more great podcasts now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.